just saw the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the New York Giants 26-18. Toddy, I'm going to swing it to you first. What were your thoughts on the Steelers beating the Giants 26-18 on Thursday night, on Monday Night Football?
The Steelers didn't really have a problem moving the ball. They just couldn't finish in the red zone, which is kind of opposite of what I was kind of talking about them earlier in my top 5. They are a team that you kind of have to start looking out for. I get it's the Giants. They were at home. The Giants are they're throwing the kitchen sink at every single team that they play against because they lack a competent quarterback. And you have a star receiver in Malik Neighbors. I feel like most of us can see that. Daniel Jones is just one of those guys that is just not going to get the job done. I believe they have a really good coach. Their defense is underrated. I think it kind of always comes down to quarterback play. If your quarterback isn't able to consistently move the ball down the field and put points on the board, you're going to be fighting with one hand behind your back every single time you lace them up on Sunday. So the Steelers being able to come out on top, you're looking at them kind of flex their muscles a little bit. George Pickens is unlocked now that he has a guy who can throw the ball deep accurately. Obviously, he had the 2 touchdowns that were negated. The first one was negated due to a face mask penalty, and the other touchdown was I think he didn't get 2 feet down. He got his right foot
down twice.
Yeah, but they were like, you can't do that, and I was like, well, I did not know that. I thought if you get at least 2 feet in somehow, some way.
Nah, bro, it definitely got to be 2 feet. You can't. You really thought that was going to fly?
It would be a loophole, but I mean, it is what it is.
If they would let that slide, that would have been crazy. There's been so many more touchdowns like that.
Pickens has been a guy that a lot of people talk about him kind of, his body language on the sideline during games. It's been, very nonchalant. He's not getting the ball. He's frustrated. But now you obviously get Russell Wilson, a guy who can be accurate down the field. He's doing handshakes with Russell Wilson in the end zone. He's smiling. It's a whole new person. So I think Russ has definitely unlocked this offense, as Mike Tomlin said last week. That's why he's highly compensated. I think everybody, even Steeler fans, were saying, "Why are you benching Justin Fields?" Big Ben was saying, "Why are you benching Justin Fields?" So I think this team is definitely, you got to watch out for them because their defense is definitely one of the top defenses in the league. I mean, for God's sake, you have probably the defensive player of the year in TJ Watt coming at you every single play. You have, I forget the other corner's name. It's not Mike Porter Jr. It's Joey. It's definitely Joey Porter Jr., not Mike Porter Jr. Forget the other. It's like Bud something. Forget what his name. Cordell could probably tell us if he's in the chat. But the other corner that they have has been playing lights out as well. So, and then obviously you have Minkah Fitzpatrick, a guy who is one of the top safeties in the league.
Beanie Bishop Jr.
Beanie Bishop. That guy's been playing out of his ass. Like if you watch the tape on how good he's been playing, he's been flying all over the place. So Beanie Bishop,
back.
I think he's a rookie if I'm not mistaken too.
Yes,
so that was definitely a good pickup for the Steelers in the draft. So, I mean, as for the Giants, you kind of just got to go with emotions. I don't think you fire Brian Daboll. A lot of people will want to call for his job, but I think he needs a quarterback, and there's a ton of them coming out in the draft this year. One of them named Shedeur Sanders. I think the top 2 quarterbacks coming out this year are Shedeur and Cam Ward. Those are the 2 guys, and we saw them. I think in the summer there was something about Cam and Shedeur. They were kind of going at it about saying that he was late or something like that, nonchalant. Those are the top 2 guys, I believe, coming in this draft. And the Giants get a quarterback in this offense. Last time Brian Daboll had a quarterback, it was Josh Allen. You saw what happened there. So the Giants just have to be patient. It's hard to find a guy after you have Eli Manning for all of those years, obviously the 2 Super Bowls, but it takes time to build a winning culture. And right now the Giants aren't that. They're going to be one of the bottom teams in the NFL. Last year they had the chance to kind of move up. Did they want to trade everything, mortgage their future for a Drake May? Maybe not. They thought you saw that in the HBO doc. So I feel like next year will definitely be the year that they kind of look at a quarterback to draft.
Yeah, man, the Steelers. Ever since getting Russell Wilson, I was Toddy, one of those fans. You know me. I had a VIP parking spot for the Justin Fields fan club, and week after week for him to lead them to 4-1, I was one of the people saying, or 3-1, excuse me. Why are you pulling him? He's got this chemistry. He's the younger guy. He has more upside, but Russell Wilson has the experience, and he has, like Toddy said, the arm talent. We're seeing George Pickens be come back to life, for 4 catches for 74 yards. Like Toddy said, he had 2 touchdowns called back, one due to a face mask and one due to not getting his feet in. But Najee Harris, his third game with over 100 yards. If they can consistently get this run game going, it's going to open up this whole offense because Jalen Warren even ran for 9 attempts for 46 yards. And we have Russell Wilson, one of the best play action quarterbacks in the NFL, to just get him to dissect it because they're going to load the box. And then you have guys like George Pickens and you have Pat Fairmouth. But like Toddy said, he mentioned the group chat. We mention the group chat all the time. National Tight End Day was yesterday. So Fairmouth did not do what he needed to do. But the Giants, like Toddy said, I think they just need a quarterback, man. Even with Daniel Jones, he is a tough guy. He's sitting there and he's taking hits. If you take away that special teams punt return, this game looks a lot different. So the Giants made it a show late, but they have to figure out how to score points. Like Toddy mentioned, you're playing against the defensive player of the year in TJ Watt. This defense with Cameron Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter Jr., they have guys all over this. With Highsmith, I can't remember his first name, but they are making play after play. And the Steelers are known for their defense. Mike Tomlin is not going to come in there and let you score more than three touchdowns at most. So it's really amazing to see the Steelers continue to figure out a way to win week in after week out. Cass, what were your thoughts on the Steelers beating the Giants 26-18?
I'm getting sick and tired of primetime games. That's my thoughts. It's always a flag fest. It's always sloppy. At first, everybody talks about, well, Thursday night football is terrible. Players are getting 3 days of rest, blah, 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 all that stuff. Okay, it's not just Thursday night football. It's all the night footballs. Sunday night football, trash. Monday night football, trash. Thursday night football. Actually, it's not been that disappointing this season, if you want to be honest, compared to the previous seasons. I'm sitting here right back there watching this game with my roommate and my friend. And I kid you not, I got up and walked away about 6 different times in the first half because of the amount of flags they were calling over nothing. When there should have been a flag thrown, they weren't throwing them. Okay, let's talk about the neighbors, PI. That was pretty obvious. I think there was a little bit of pushing. I mean, he did have his arm extended, but it's like, and he did trip over his own feet. I mean, if you look at it in slow-mo, he definitely tripped over his own feet. But before that, he's already in contact with the wide receiver. I would say 8 out of 10 times you're not waving that off. So you're seeing that happen. Malik Neighbors not getting any calls this way at all. And then all of a sudden you're getting the illegal shift and you're getting the holding, or you're getting this and all the big plays. Every big play came back this game. This game had the potential to be, both teams score for 21 points. You guys understand that? I mean, again, you take away the punt return, okay? This game still should have been a game that should have been over 21 points for both teams. They took so much good football back from us. I hate games like that. That's what I'll say for the first starters. But what I'll also say is that is typically how Pittsburgh Steelers football games go. It's grungy, it's gritty. The entire time I was talking to a roommate, I was impersonating Mike Tomlin of how I think he is. Hey guys, we're good here. I understand we just made a big play, but we're gonna run the clock out in the second quarter. We're gonna run the clock out, get the 2-minute warning, and we're gonna run the ball. We're gonna end this with a field goal. Okay, in third quarter, we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, we're gonna win this game, guys. We're gonna win this game, but we're going to run the clock out. There's no reason for touchdowns. We can do it with Boswell. It's fine. That's how I feel the conversation between Mike Tomlin and his players goes, because there's no reason for Pittsburgh Steelers football to look like this every damn week for years. He plays conservative. He's like a Bill Belichick type coach, but not at the same time, because he actually has playmakers. The Patriots are known for not having guys like that. The Steelers have had guys. They've had big names. Go out there and let these guys ball out. Now, granted, Pickens did have a couple plays called back, a couple touchdowns called back, like I think Toddy just mentioned. But even outside of that, they're running the ball really well with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. Okay, both were going off in the beginning, in the first half, right? All right. And then all of a sudden, all these drives and then field goals. That's a clear indicator that you guys just do not have the play calling to get into the end zone. It reminded me of the Philadelphia Eagles a couple years back, where we would get all these yards but could not execute in the red zone. Just couldn't execute. All these yards couldn't execute. And when you see that, you got to kind of wonder, like, how can these guys not figure it out? You got a George Pickens who's hungry than ever, who wants it. You got a guy like by Pat Freiermuth, who is a guy who can, take in those red zone targets. He can definitely score the ball. He's a big tight end. He's very, very competent. And then you have Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. And then on the other side, apparently you got guys like Van Jefferson and who is it, Scotty Miller. I mean, you have a solid receiving core in Pittsburgh. It's not a great receiving core, but it's far from terrible. It's far from terrible, mainly because of George Pickens. Just a sloppy game, a slow game. I didn't like anything about it. I actually was low-key at one point rooting for the Giants because they got so much taken from them that I'm like, dude, give them something. And they almost took away Malik Neighbors' first down because it was right on the line. And like the referee was hesitant. I'm like, bro, just give them the damn first down, man. You guys took so much from this team. But at the end of the day, it comes down to one thing, and that is Daniel Jones. They're not going to win with a guy like Daniel Jones under center. I'm sorry. So Pittsburgh was the better team coming in. Okay, Pittsburgh, they were at home, right? Yeah, they were at home. So Pittsburgh was at home.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And TJ Watt did what TJ Watt was supposed to do. Lined up offsides half the game. They never called it. He made that right tackle work his ass off. It didn't really work. And then he ended the game with a strip sack for the most part. Steelers are the better team, and they actually showed signs of being vulnerable, similar to the Ravens, and could have easily have lost that game just as well as they won that game. So kudos to the Steelers for getting by with another gritty, ugly, sloppy game on, I would even say, offense and defense. Thankful for the refs that game. They should be thankful for the refs 100% because you take away a lot of those flags, New York scores over 21 points, and that's a different ball game.